Hey, thanks for coming back for another week. Got a little bit of history this week. I have little miniatures of two iconic structures. As you can see, one is the Statue of Liberty, the other the Eiffel Tower. Now these two monuments have a very special connection with each other. They were both built in Paris, France. The Eiffel Tower, as you know, was built by Gustave Eiffel and his company. And in fact, Gustave Eiffel and his company actually were asked to build and design the interior framework of the Statue of Liberty, and that was several years before they designed the Eiffel Tower. As I mentioned, what I want to do is I'd like to have a little bit of what ifs. What if the Eiffel Tower was never built? Because what happened is, prior to the World's Fair, two of Gustave Eiffel's designers, his architects, came up with a design for the Eiffel Tower. They presented the drawings to Gustave Eiffel, and he looked at them and he said, "I have no interest in this project." And he just completely walked away from it. Now once again, what if the architects were so distraught at that point that they just took the plans and threw them into maybe a chest of rejects? And it may be a case that they were so distraught that they even maybe left the company. Because Eiffel was such a famous person at this point. He built some beautiful bridges, and to have a design rejected by him obviously must have hit really hard. It's a case that they may have just completely decided, you know what, I'm going to pursue another career. Even though the Eiffel Tower itself, when it was designed, would have been, or was, the tallest structure ever to be built. And actually it was the first structure to be built completely out of wrought iron. So once again, what if they took the plans, just threw them into a chest, decided to leave, travel across country, find some other job somewhere else, and now those plans just ended up in somebody's attic somewhere, never ever see the light of day again. Now let's go across the pond to the Statue of Liberty. If you were watching TV somewhere in the early 1980s, you were seeing David Copperfield actually make the Statue of Liberty disappear. He draped it with a large cloth sheet. The lights went down, the music went up, and there she stood completely in darkness. The only thing you could see was a foundation of the Statue of Liberty. Now, what if David Copperfield couldn't bring back the Statue of Liberty? What would New York City and the harbor be without the Statue of Liberty? What would Paris, France be like without the Eiffel Tower? Let's go back to the Eiffel Tower for a minute. As you know, it stands there today, so there's a second part to the story. And what it is, Eiffel came back to his architect several months later. He said, "Look, the reason I didn't like your tower design is because it had no purpose. It was just a large tower, and people could look at it and say, wow, that's tall," and just completely, that was it, walk away from it. He said, "I've redesigned it." He said, "I've designed a observation deck on the upper level near the top." He said, "In fact, I think we can even put a theater up there, maybe even a restaurant." He said, "I can have elevators going up, bringing people up to the top of the tower. Now they can look and have a beautiful view of Paris. And down on the lower levels, we could have some stores, maybe we can build some arches on the foundations. And now the tower will have a purpose." And obviously it was submitted to the authorities and it was approved for the 1898 World's Fair. And as you know, the tower stands there today and is still visited by thousands and thousands of people a year. So the plans for the Eiffel Tower fortunately never ended up in somebody's attic. It became such a attraction that I believe it's one of the top 8 or 9 attractions of the world. Okay, let's go back to New York City. As we mentioned, David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear. And once again we said, what if he couldn't bring it back again? Obviously there would be such an uproar, but fortunately he was able to bring back the Statue of Liberty for everybody to see and still enjoy today as we see the Statue of Liberty in New York City. Thank you. See you next week. Cheers. Bye-bye.